Hello and welcome to another review from Film Fam. I'm Greg, the bold one, and this is
Ollie, the bearded one.
And today we have a monumental review of a film just come out. Just got back from the cinema from seeing it. We actually went and saw it in 4DX.
Oh yeah,
we went and saw it in 4DX.
Definitely.
And that film is Top Gun Maverick. You may remember we reviewed the very first Top Gun as our very first review in a setup for this because we've really been looking forward to it. But is it any good? We're going to find out. Any stats so far?
So, early kind of goings on it. So it's got 97% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 99% audience score. So expectations were high.
That's pretty good. It's pretty good. I don't think I've seen scores like that for a long time. So
no, definitely not.
Is it as good as the scores? So, as we know, Top Gun was a massive hit back in the 80s, massive recruitment for the American Navy. In fact, I did find out that they had recruitment officers and recruitment tables outside the screenings of the cinemas to recruit people straight out of the cinema. It was that good. Okay, I don't know if I'm doing that at the moment, but is this film as good? We're going to find out. So, we know the story of the first one. Maverick, loose cannon pilot. He was a bit of an idiot, wasn't he?
He was.
Bit of an idiot. Goes to the Top Gun school and tries to compete to be the best pilot. Does his little thing with Iceman, okay, and then the little battle at the end. That was it.
Loses best friend as well.
Loses his best friend, yeah. Tragedy in the middle of it, and that's where the first one ended. We pick it up.
30 years later.
30 years later. Wow. Feeling old. Okay. And Maverick is now a test pilot, and he's test pilot in some kind of spy jet or super jet, and he's got his own cool house with his own plane stuck in it that he repairs in his white t-shirts. He's still got the white t-shirt.
Classic. It's probably the same one from 30 years
probably,
ago, isn't
it? Probably is. He doesn't look like he's aged today, so he probably got the same t-shirt on, yeah? So he's fixing a plane, and then off he goes, and he's in this top secret program, and they're going to shut it down, aren't they? Because the drones are coming in, aren't they?
Exactly. Yes, yeah.
Unless this plane can go Mark 10. Okay, it was only scheduled to go Mark 9. So he jumps, and off he goes, and he takes off, and this plane is absolutely booming. I'll tell you, the 40X was flying all over the place.
We were flying, yeah.
Yeah, we were flying with him. And this is a scene right out of a film called The Right Stuff. It's exactly the same sort of thing with the high flying supersonic jet. Turns up your commander. He wants it shut down because he wants his drones. So Tom Cruise pushes it till it explodes.
It was funny because obviously we know what Tom's like in this. He's a bit of a loose cannon and that, and he tries to break the boundaries. So he actually gets to his Mark 10, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Everyone's clapping and that. And what does he do? He just thinks, let's just see how much further.
We're going a little further.
How much further can we go?
He was warned not to before he took off, so we knew he was going to do it. So it blows up, and he ends up in a cafe, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All like.
Yeah. And then he goes back, and he's in his usual position of being told off.
Shocker.
He always gets told off. So he gets told off, but this time they say, right, we need you to go to Top Gun. We need you to go back to Top Gun because there's this generic enemy, okay? We've got a top secret mission and we need you. And he's like, I'm too old to fly. Yeah, we'll need you to train them. So he's going to be the trainer in this one.
Exactly.
Okay? So he then gets on his helicopter, on his motorbike, does the old byong. Oh, I forgot to say. It started with the Harold Faltermeyer thing, Highway to the Danger Zone with the planes.
The intro was brilliant, wasn't it?
Yeah, got that. So we were straight into it. We were like, yeah, come on, this is the movie again. Yeah. We forgot all about that. Anyway, so in he goes, and he gives them what he comes in, does his usual, and he goes to the bar, doesn't he?
Yes, so he goes to the bar, the kind of local one that all the kind of pilots and that go to.
Yeah.
And it's where we meet all our kind of young kind of characters that are introduced.
The young characters are in there. Also, the love interest. Is it Jennifer Connelly, is it?
Yes, she plays Penny.
Penny, yeah. Penny was never in the first movie because Kelly McGillis, they've obviously decided she's not good enough.
She's a bit too old, I think.
Well, Jennifer Connelly's in her 50s as well. So it wasn't that, which is a shame because we'd like to have had the whole cast together, but that's something we'll talk about at the end. But he's obviously had a thing with her before. She now happens to own the bar on the base. Bangs him up for putting his phone on the table, so he's got to buy everybody in the pub a drink.
Yeah, not bad.
Seemed to be forever.
Yeah.
So if you ever get down to that pub, get in there because the round seemed to go on forever, didn't it?
They did, yeah.
Yeah. And then in comes the young pilots that have all been selected, of which Tom's got to pick the ones that are going to go with him, and amongst them is Rooster. Now Rooster is the son of Goose from the first one, the one who met his fate. Okay, who
he's played brilliantly as well by Miles Teller. Very well.
You liked him, didn't you?
Yeah, he's a very good actor.
He looks like Goose.
Yeah,
there's certain shots in this film where it's like, whoa, there's Goose, and they have the usual kind of I'm the best in the town type thing, don't they?
Yeah, they all burn each other's
and there's a lot of this in the film where they talk what's going to happen, so to hurry up the storyline. So they all introduce themselves. And,
that's Hangman. That one, yeah.
That's Hangman. And
Phoenix.
He never does as he's told, but he always gets a job done. And they kind of introduce each other. There's even one called Bob.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good old Bob.
got to have a Bob. So next day they're all in the hangar, and they chucked Tom out, didn't they?
Yeah, they chucked him out. He was thrown overboard, wasn't he?
Tom's cash point card gets rejected.
He got declined.
Gets rejected, so he gets thrown out. So the next day they're all in the base, and in comes... It's like the bit when Kelly McGillis comes down the middle, but this time it's Tom. And Tom is in charge of all these youngsters, and they go, oh no, we threw him out.
We threw him out, called him an old
and he gives them all the... I'll tell you, some of this speech in this film is just like, it's cheese, yeah. I love a good load of cheese. Okay, and he's talking about how you're going to fly faster and harder and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, and they're all like, who's going to be selected? And they all go, yeah, all macho. And where do we go from there?
So it brings them on to the first lesson that he's going to teach them all, what they think they know. So they gets them all up in the air, just figuring out what they're kind of about, really, isn't it? So.
I remember this, but yeah, he flies up through the middle of them. Tom Cruise, he's got his health and safety is just completely non-existent. No. Flies up through the middle of them.
And he does the thing where he goes over the top.
He goes over the top. And then he shoots them all down, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. Yeah. So he gets all rid of them all.
And they got something going where they've all got to do press-ups. So he goes up and shoots them, and they all end up doing press-ups all the time. Tom Cruise just flying around. It doesn't matter. There's two of them. Tom Cruise is going to get you all. Yeah. So no one can get anywhere near him. So it establishes the fact that he's the top pilot. Okay. And one thing we also didn't mention was he was put there on the request of Admiral Kaczynski, who is Iceman. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And we see a nice picture of Iceman. Yeah. Very nostalgic. That was. And so Val Kilmer. Okay. No actual images of it. No contact with him apart from a few text messages.
Yeah, from Ice.
The texting. He was texting Ice. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we have that, and then it comes back to another bar scene, isn't it?
Yeah, he goes back to the bar where he meets Penny's younger daughter, who's grown up a little bit.
Yeah, I had a feeling that it might be his daughter, but it's not his daughter. It's somebody else's daughter. Okay, and Penny's like, we ain't getting together, type thing, but you can come sailing with me. Yeah, and then there's this like weird sailing thing. I believe right that they put these bits in especially for the 4DX.
Get the water effect going
so they
up.
can spray water in your face because it didn't seem. He's just like suddenly cuts over and he's like straddling the.
Yeah.
Oh my!
Very random scene, wasn't it?
It was a bit random. I was just like wanted to fly around on a boat. Yeah. So then we go back for the second lesson, don't we?
We do. Yes.
And what's the second lesson on?
So he basically goes through the plan of what he's constructed, how they're going to get to this kind of refinery that they need to destroy. So he maps it all out, and he sets the aviators out again to basically do the route themselves, because obviously it's so intense.
It's basically Star Wars.
Yeah, it's basically the trench run.
It's the trench run with the little exhaust port that they've got to hit, but there's two of them got to hit it,
blows
and then they
everything
got to
up.
get up. But this time they haven't got the Millennium Falcon. Yeah, they got SAM missiles all at the top of the cliff. Okay, it's the most dangerous mission ever. That's why they've got the Top Gun pilots in, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. If we don't get that, then these are going to get him. If we don't get that, then there's 5 super jets are going to get him. And they also mentioned the Tomcats are here, and they're all going to get him. So whatever's going to happen, they're going to get it.
Yeah, basically the stakes are set
unless
very
they
high.
fly on the edge.
They got to fly Maverick style.
They've got to fly Maverick.
They've all got to be like Maverick.
So they all try it. One's too slow. One's too nervous. They can't do it. They're not gelling as a team. It's all going wrong. Yeah.
It is.
And
it's not looking good.
It's not looking good. They're not going to get it together. Then we have our generic football scene. Well, it was a volleyball scene in the first one, but this time it's
American football.
It's American football. Tom's ripped.
Yeah,
he's absolutely ripped.
They've all got their shirts off, you know how it is, all showing off their physiques.
Yeah, but they don't play volleyball anymore. They play double American football, isn't it?
That's what happens 30 years later. You know, you evolve from volleyball to football.
That's right. Yeah.
So
they play the volleyball, the football. Tom goes along there and he has his love scene. I thought, I don't want to see like old people. Me being old as well. Old people love scene. You know what I mean? Are we going to get the same tongues we got with the clip? But it was done very tastefully. Very good.
Very.
Yeah. Just the right thing. And we then go back into the training again. Back into training.
You do.
We got another bombing run. This time they're starting to push it. The group's
they're pushing their limits.
There's a female one. What's she called? Phoenix?
It's called Phoenix.
Phoenix.
Yes.
Yeah, Phoenix. Okay, and her wing. Who was her wingman? Can you remember?
Bob.
Oh yeah, Bob.
Bob was in the back.
Bob. Yeah.
And then they had Payback as well in the other one because he passes out, doesn't he?
That's right. Yeah, because the G's are so high when you pull up, you'll pass out. You'll see it when you see the movie. And there's an accident. One of the planes gets exploded. Yeah, and then
you're thinking is it going to happen again? Has it happened again?
Is it going to happen? Is this the moment? Is this the helicopter, the slow motion helicopter dangling the body on a string type thing?
With dignity.
With dignity, yeah. Get over it. Get back in the plane. But it doesn't happen. Luckily they've all survived. Yeah, there's no element of danger there really. And now the whole thing's in jeopardy. The whole system's in jeopardy. Yeah. The planes are all dying and all this kind of stuff. And at this point is this really dramatic scene, I think, when Tom goes back to see.
He goes to see Ice, doesn't
he? He goes to see Iceman. Yeah. Val Kilmer's had massive health issues. Okay, and it was. Got me.
It was lovely seeing him in there, wasn't it?
It got me. It really did. He could only type on a computer, and then at the end he can kind of just say a few lines. You can see the struggle, but the respect between the two men.
Yeah, it was lovely to see.
And cool. That one was a bit of a.
And then Ice does try and ruin it when he goes, "Who's the better pilot?" Doesn't he?
Yeah.
He puts a little dig in there.
Well, there's always the banter between them. Yeah, it shows that even though they're ill and that, they've still got that rivalry and they still got the ultimate respect for each other. Which is a big theme going through this film. And yeah, that was a real moment. That was a real moment.
And then sadly he does go, doesn't he?
He does pass on that later on in the film, doesn't he? Yeah. And then we go back for what happens next.
So next on that one, it comes basically, because obviously Ice dies, basically the instructors, Cyclone and Warlock, they get rid of Tom, didn't they?
Well, there's that funny thing where they do the spinning. Was that?
Yeah, that was earlier on in the second lesson. That was,
yeah, Tom's being cut from the program.
Ice isn't there to save him anymore.
Yeah, so he's gone. So what's he going to do to get himself back on? To get himself back involved? What he does is he steals a multi-million-dollar airplane, defense airplane, and he flies the run with everyone watching.
It was epic.
Oh.
Honestly,
in the 4DX, it was absolutely.
You were
screaming.
there with Tom flying in there.
Yeah.
You were
how they shot this film was just incredible. So he demonstrates to these people that you can do the bombing run, and he goes hell for leather down this canyon.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah,
honestly amazing.
Gets the shot that no one else can do. He does it. Pulls out of the G's that no one else can pull out of. He does it. Bends the plane apparently. And he's proved to them that they can do it if they put their mind to it.
So, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So
Cyclone brings him back in, doesn't he? And he's like, "Well, what do I do with you now?" And he's like, "Do I let you take over this mission, or do I have you court-martialed?"
Yeah. So what does he do? He puts him in charge of the mission. These poor young Top Gun pilots have all been training, and now Tom's nicked one of their
Tom's
spots.
just going to nick in there, and he?
Yeah, he's nicked one of their spots because it's Tom Cruise. He ain't gonna sit in a tower going turn left, turn right, turn right. He's in there. So they take it, and then the mission begins, doesn't it?
It was a lovely scene as well, where he's in his white suit, wasn't there? And he goes into the bar to say goodbye to Penny because he's off again.
Yeah. And then there's this point, one thing went through my mind. He's a goner.
They thought he was gone.
Tom is a goner.
Yeah, honestly.
So
when they were setting it up, it's just constant.
I turned to you, didn't I? I said they're gonna kill him off. They're gonna kill him off.
Because it cuts to the they're on the flagship now, aren't they? They're on the helicarrier.
Yeah.
And he's there just having a think, isn't he? And then Warlock's there, isn't he? He's like, "You where you belong, Maverick. You where you belong."
Yeah.
And you're like,
it was also,
"Oh no!"
And then before we go, we'll jump back in a second. But before he goes out on the plane, his mate pops up who's he had a job at the beginning in the test thing. Now he's got a job on the aircraft carrier.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, it's been so great working with you. I'll tell you when I come back." And obviously, he's not coming back. He's not coming back. And that kind of set it for me that Tom was on his way out. They were going to kill him off, and I was just thought, this is going to be epic. That really set up for me. Like this is going to be epic. And
he picked his team.
He had to pick his team, and he picked his wingman as Rooster. Okay.
Hangman was very disappointed. You could see in his face, wasn't he?
Hangman gets the Tom Cruise role from the last one.
Yeah.
Where he's got to stay on the deck. We haven't really talked about the dynamic between Rooster and Tom, but that was going off and on. And this was a good show of respect, and Rooster was a bit too cautious and all this kind of stuff. But they picked them. Boom, off they go on the mission. All going really well.
Yeah, they're flying through, aren't they? They're getting a bit nervy, aren't they?
Yeah, but
they're seeing the sand missiles up in the sky.
The missiles. And then as they fly off, the ship launches a load of rockets.
Oh, yeah. That was cool. The Tomahawks.
What did he say? What was that word he said to activate it? Dagger mission on. Or something.
Yeah, it was cool. All of it was really cool, wasn't it?
Yeah, dagger mission on. And the rockets get launched out, and they blow up the airfield to stop all the planes taking off. They fly through, hit the target. Up they come. As they come up, all the air missiles lock onto them.
The music here was brilliant. Wasn't it? You just saw this amazing shot of all these planes going off, and then the missiles just flares and that everywhere.
The seats were giving it. It
was a roller coaster.
Yeah,
wasn't it? It was a real
boom,
roller coaster.
It really added to it. The 40X really added to it. They beat all the rockets,
and then they don't, because obviously.
Oh yeah, well, there's a lock on Rooster.
He's run out of flares, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's run out of flares. So what's going to happen?
So Tom puts his plane in front of the missile, and boom, there we go.
Plane goes,
and they all want to go back, but the carrier says no, you've got to come back home. So they have to retreat, and then Tom is dead. But it's not. No, Tom is not dead.
But he's going to be, because obviously he wakes up and then that blimmin' helicopter comes.
Yeah, he lands.
Right,
I think it was a Tupolev Bear. I remember engaging one when I was on exercise in America. Tupolev, this rocket launching helicopter comes along. It's going to take him out. Yeah. The enemy planes have disappeared somewhere.
I don't know where they were going.
Yeah. But this helicopter comes along, just about to target him, and then boom, helicopter blows to bits. Who comes flying through?
It's Goose!
No, it's not.
Oh, that was
Rooster. Rooster comes flying through. He gets shot down. He lands another 10 mile on the right. So Tom Cruise does a run through the snow and meets up with him. How are they going to get out? They're going to steal a plane from the airfield. So they go to the airfield and
well, just so happened to be one plane left.
And what was it? What was it?
It was F-14.
It was a Tomcat. It was a Tomcat. So they walk through the base. No one actually notices them.
Yeah, loads of
get in, switch it all on, and fire it up. And we get this moment where Tom is now the pilot of a Tomcat again, and Rooster is in Goose's position. Oh,
it was awesome.
They couldn't do it any better.
It was amazing.
They steal the plane. They managed to take it off. We were in our seats. Trying to take off. We did grab it onto our popcorn so we don't fly over the people next to us. And they fly this Tomcat back, and then they engage these two
F-18s, aren't they? Fifth generation.
No, they weren't F-18s. They were fifth generation.
Fifth generation fighters. Yeah.
Yeah, and he engages them. They're the latest in high-tech super weaponry. But Tom managed to shoot one down in about 30 seconds.
It was
and
amazing,
then evade the other one for a good 5 minutes. But they can't evade it forever. They take the shots, and then they get locked on, and we think, Tom, they're going to go down together. They're going to go down together.
It was a really kind of scene because they're all panicking. Tom's there like, oh, I'm sorry.
Just as he's about to press the button, boom, he explodes, and here comes Hangman. Hangman has come off the deck.
He has a nice little scene. Then he goes, return all your trays to the right positions.
Yeah, gets his kill, and then we land on he lands back on the plane that was just about to be shot down, that was damaged, is now fixed in there. And it can land properly. They land. Anything else?
Well, you get that lovely kind of iconic scene of, when Rooster comes down and Hangman, and they have that mutual respect.
Yeah,
just like Iceman and Maverick.
Just like the first one, yeah. And Maverick and Rooster are now best mates.
Yeah, it was lovely.
And it all comes together. And then he goes back for his girlfriend, doesn't he?
But she's gone.
She's gone.
Yeah.
She's got on her boat and sailed off. Okay, which doesn't know when he's back. And then it kind of fades out. And then we go back to Tom's ultra cool hangar house where he's fixing his plane.
Rooster's there helping him out as well.
She rocks up.
Yeah.
And they get into the planes and they fly off into the sunset. And that is the end of Top Gun Maverick.
I remember we were looking around, weren't we? And everyone was just in tears, weren't they?
I was crying.
Yeah.
I can't not admit it. This was emotional for me. This was an emotional movie, and I'll go into that in a minute. And that was it. So, what did you think?
It was blimmin' fantastic.
It was amazing.
Movie, honestly.
It was amazing. They don't make films like this anymore, okay? And they should do. The effects were amazing. It wasn't CGI. They actually had cameras in the cockpits and then they flew these guys around. And that made you feel more involved in it, knowing 100%. That it wasn't CGI. The music, we had some of the old stuff, some of the new stuff, incredible. Great Balls of Fire. Oh, it was all in there. The action was, wow, those fight scenes were just incredible. In the first one, they were a bit jumpy, jumped from one to the other because they didn't have the action. But this time, they lingered, they formed up, and it was just an amazing experience. The dialogue, some of that was a bit.
It was a little bit, but I must admit, it was all right.
It was a bit corny, yeah. There was a bit like, if he doesn't make it this far, then he won't make it to the end. So they were setting it up in places, but it worked. It really worked, okay? It didn't copy the first movie. No. It paid homage to it, a bit like Cobra Kai does. You have certain things that remind you, but it's its own different story, isn't it?
100%.
It's its own different story. Yeah. The acting was great. Like we said, the boy was just like...
He looked just like him, didn't he? The cast were fantastic, honestly. Yeah,
we maybe didn't get enough time with the cast because they kind of introduced each other in a bar, and next minute they're blowing each other up. There seemed to be a few of them, and we didn't really get a bit of when they had to cut them. That could have been a bit more.
Oh yeah, that's true.
They could have been a bit more like you three have been dropped or whatever. They didn't quite have that bit in it. Like
just kind of stuck to the main bunch, didn't they?
They all stayed together and just went you and you. Right, off you go, the rest of you. Cheers. And the Val Kilmer bit was just incredible. And this is one thing I didn't like was they didn't get Kelly McGillis back. Everyone but Kelly, you know. Jennifer Connelly, she did a great job. She did a great job and she did it well. But
she filled that void well.
I'm like, if you bring one back, you bring them all back. You know, and there was no reason why she couldn't be in there. And that would be a choice, you know. She wasn't an amazing, fantastic actress in the first one, but I felt she deserved to be there. The story, it had it all. It got you emotionally, it got you mentally, it got your adrenaline going. It just did everything. It pushed all your buttons. I mean, I was sat there at one point and it got me so much. I thought, wow, back in the 80s, I went to see this with my dad. And now I'm a dad and I'm sat here with my son watching the second one and we're having just as great a time as we did then. And that made me cry more than anything else. I haven't had a cinema experience like that ever in any film I've watched. Even the Star Wars prequels, which I was really excited to take them to, because I was a massive Star Wars fan. They didn't get me like that did. They did not get me like that did. And hats off. It was a million times better. I thought it was going to be good, but I didn't think it was going to be this good. And you could hear it from the cinema. Everybody was rocking. Everybody was rocking. That was the 40X, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was part of it. Yeah,
everybody was rocking. Tom Cruise.
Oh,
he was amazing.
He
I
was
am
brilliant.
not a Tom Cruise fan in any way. I liked Risky Business. That was a great movie. And there's a couple of other films I liked. But to me, I find him annoying in Mission Impossible movies. Okay, and but he was just incredible. He had me.
It was the emotion that he had in his face. You literally felt like he was just like he had experienced it.
Yeah,
it was just
his
incredible.
Face, he like moves an eyebrow, and you're like, "Whoa,
yeah,
we're with you, Tom. We're with you." You know what I mean? He just had us. This movie just was him.
That scene at the beginning where they're at the bar and Rooster's playing Great Balls of Fire, and he's out there in the back. You can just feel how hurt he is, can't you? I was just there with him. I was like, "Oh, God!"
This is Tom Cruise's finest moment, and you might well expect that being the Top Gun, because Top Gun was his film, wasn't it? But wow, it was. He was really, really, really good, and I think this is one of the best films I've seen since the original Top Gun and Aliens and films like that when they came out. It just took me right back there, and that's what cinema should really do. Fire you up like that.
There's so much generic
hit
stuff,
you on every
there?
level. The 40X was brilliant with it. Yeah, we went and saw Terminator Salvation, didn't we, in 40X?
Yeah,
and it was
oh
my gosh, it was like getting
you got beaten up.
tortured. We got beaten up. But in films like this, and then I said Ford versus Ferrari as well, where you have action scenes involving vehicles moving. 40X is made for it. It's made for it.
If you can, definitely watch it in the 40X.
Yeah. It's worth
100%.
the extra. It's worth it for the extra few quid to watch it in 40X. It really is.
Definitely.
And it was like a theme park ride, wasn't it? The movie itself was like the cutscenes in between it. You're about to go on this mission. Okay, let's go.
Yeah. And then you run.
We're not going to make it. We're going to make it. We're not going to make it. Boom. And it was like that. Hi, I'm Tom Cruise. I'm taking you through the next bit. It was just like that, wasn't it?
It was. Yeah.
It was
really
like going on a roller coaster. It was brilliant. Is there anything you want to add?
Well, what I was going to say, like I said, for me, I've only watched the original Top Gun a few weeks back, and even this movie got me emotional, and I'm not as heavily invested as some of the kind of, that kind of generation would be. But honestly, it just literally pulled at your heartstrings. It was fantastic. All of it was just brilliant.
Yeah.
I struggled to pick a fault with it, to be honest with you.
I can't pick a fault of it. Like I said, there was the layer of cheese that was in the original, but it was just another level of movies to what I've seen. I mean, I thought Spider-Man: Far From Home was a really, really good movie, but this is above that. And the more I think about it, the more it goes up. And I'm going to have to go and watch. You've seen it twice, haven't you?
I have seen it twice.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go again and watch it again, because I mean, we've talked through it, but there's so much we've missed.
Oh yeah.
There's so much all over, because we were just having such a great time. We had a great time. And you want to go to the cinema and have a great time. You don't want to be sat there going, "Oh, when's this going to end?" Or, "Oh, that guy's got his phone."
Or it's dragging on too long.
This guy's looking at his phone over there. Or why don't they stop talking? You didn't have time to listen to anybody talking. Nobody had any time.
You were so invested.
We were just blown away. So, Top Gun Maverick. What are we going to score it?
Oh. I'm struggling. I'm torn here because it was a near perfect movie.
Yeah.
It honestly was. And for what we've reviewed so far, hands down by far the best thing we've watched.
We haven't scored anything quite high, have we? So we could go around the 8s. But if we're going up to 9 or 10, then
I know what you mean.
There's nowhere to go.
I know, but it was such an amazing movie. Like, honestly, that you won't see a movie kind like that for years to come, I don't believe. I honestly don't think you will. It was a legacy sequel and a continuation at the same time. It was. I would give it 9. I would give it a strong 9.
Yeah, I think I'll give it 9 as well. I think if you can go and see it, go and see it. Go and see it in the cinema. Remember what cinema was all about. Yeah? remember those great days of when you were a child watching these great films and great actors doing great things. It's just absolutely incredible. And, you know, I don't like jumping on I hate jumping on a hype. I hate jumping on a hype train.
You gotta
But there's nothing more I can say. Top Gun Maverick is just thumbs up all around. It's I even got to see my Tomcat planes, which I absolutely loved. So
you know, sales in kind of jackets and that are going to go up as well.
Yeah,
everyone's.
Well, I've got a white T-shirt and an aviator jacket. And I'm going to go around on my mountain bike.
Get my sunglasses on,
screaming around Plymouth Airport, even though it's abandoned. Right now, so that's our review. Please like and subscribe to us. Hit the notification bell for when our next video is coming out. You're helping our dreams come true. We've got some people a lot of people that are watching, which is fabulous, and we want to keep on doing it and building all sorts of different things.
Well, we're loving it, aren't we? We're enjoying it
we
so
are
much.
Loving
this
it,
is what we want to do.
It's bringing us closer together, and we're doing something that we love. So, please like and subscribe, and please go and see this movie. And if you have, we haven't got many comments. We'd like to have some. Let
us know what you thought of the movie.
Yeah, let us know what you thought of it, please. And take it from me, you won't be disappointed.
Fantastic movie.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
All right. That's us. To the next one. What are we going to do next?
Oh, I don't know.
We're going to chat about Obi-Wan next.
Oh,
maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
You'll have to wait and find out.
Yeah, you have to wait and find out. Thank you very much. We've been on for 30 minutes. Right. Thank you very much, and see you later. Bye-bye.
See you later, guys.
Bye-bye.